Relationships feel life-changing because closeness can steady us, while distance can make even ordinary moments feel dangerous. When that bond shakes, people do not simply lose convenience. They lose their main shelter against fear and confusion. This is why arguments over chores, money, sex, or parenting can suddenly feel far bigger than the surface topic. Underneath the noise, each partner is often scanning for one answer about safety, importance, and emotional protection. When reassurance arrives, conflict softens because the body no longer reads the relationship as an emergency. When reassurance fails, hurt turns quickly into blame, shutdown, protest, or a lonely attempt to stay in control. That repeating swing between longing and defense can make loving people feel like enemies, strangers, or unwilling roommates. The pain becomes harder to name because the real issue is not preference, but threatened connection. The next sections trace how attachment, fear, repair, touch, and daily responsiveness rebuild trust from the inside out. In Hold Me Tight by Sue Johnson, this path is closely followed, so subscribe to the channel for more relationship maps that make emotional chaos understandable. Love functions more as an emotional bond for protection, comfort, and steadiness, rather than a mere bargain. Attachment starts in childhood, yet the need for safe connection continues to shape adult romantic relationships. People seek comfort from a loved one when frightened, uncertain, tired, or overwhelmed, as closeness helps regulate distress. When connection feels secure, curiosity and self-confidence grow, and flexibility replaces rigid vigilance for danger. When connection feels unsafe, the mind narrows and every missed signal feels loaded with potential threat. The need for closeness is not a sign of weakness. Rather, it supports exploration, resilience, and personal strength. Physical health also improves with the quality of love, as isolation, hostile conflict, and rejection strain the body. Tender contact can calm stress, while disconnection can feel like actual pain, as attachment resides in the body. Lasting love thus depends on being open, attuned, and responsive, rather than merely efficient, reasonable, or self-sufficient. Once closeness is seen as a primary need, relationship problems stop seeming irrational and become heartbreakingly logical. Most recurring couple fights are really protests against emotional disconnection, even when the spoken topic sounds completely practical. Partners are usually asking whether they matter, whether help will come, and whether the bond still holds. When a loved one seems unavailable, the nervous system can react with primal panic long before careful thinking sets in. Some people move closer through criticism, demands, or urgent questions because protest feels better than helpless waiting. Others go quiet, detach, or focus on control because distance seems safer than being visibly vulnerable. Both reactions hide the same ache, which is the need to know someone is there and will respond. The trouble is that disguised bids for comfort rarely sound soft enough to invite comfort back. Anger can conceal longing, silence can conceal fear, and sexual pursuit can conceal a desperate search for reassurance. The more these signals are missed, the more both partners assume the worst and brace for injury. Conflict changes only when the hidden attachment question becomes visible enough to answer with care. Negative cycles take on a life of their own when couples stop seeing each other and start seeing a pattern. One pattern seeks a villain, turning every exchange into proof that one person is the entire problem. Another pattern, the protest polka, traps one partner in pursuit while the other retreats behind distance and defense. A third pattern freezes both people until politeness replaces connection and the relationship starts dying in silence. Once these dances harden, the actual topic barely matters because every disagreement is filtered through danger and mistrust. A late arrival, a parenting dispute, or reluctance to talk all become fresh evidence that the bond is failing. People then blame character, intelligence, or compatibility when the deeper wound is emotional starvation. Trying to fix only technique leaves the core untouched because the pattern is fueled by fear of losing contact. Progress begins when both partners name the dance as the enemy and notice how each move triggers the next. Seeing the whole cycle creates enough space to stop changing steps blindly and start changing the music. Present arguments often explode because they touch raw spots, formed where old attachment needs were ignored or dismissed. A raw spot is not a simple preference, but a tender place, organised around feelings of deprivation, desertion, shame, or rejection. A single careless word, distracted silence, or missing compliment can trigger that place, flooding the body with alarm. then the reaction seems sudden or exaggerated because the current moment has fused with older hurt. Someone who was once ignored during serious talks may hear a drowsy response as abandonment, while betrayal can make a delay feel intolerable. Another person who was never praised may experience neutral feedback as proof of being unseen or unwanted. Partners usually trigger each other unintentionally because love gives each person the power to wound and soothe in unexpected ways. The first sign is often a sharp shift in emotional tone, where warmth turns instantly to ice or attack. The second sign is disproportional force, when the response seems much bigger than the immediate event alone explains. If this pattern sounds familiar, subscribe to the channel for more tools that help transform pain into legibility before it turns into another fight. Repair becomes possible when one rocky moment is slowed down enough to reveal cues, fears, and missed turns. In calmer relationships, people can step back, call a ceasefire, and restart before disconnection gathers momentum. Distressed couples need more deliberate help because they see each other as threats before they can see the pattern. The first move is to create enough safety to look together at what happened, rather than proving who was right. Then each partner tracks the trigger, the body reaction, the meaning made, and the protective move that followed. This process shows how a comment or look can mushroom from daily irritation into a survival alarm. Once the impact is named, partners can recognize their own part in the spiral without collapsing into blame. They can see how attacks often mask fear, and how withdrawal often masks shame, defeat, or sadness. That clarity supports de-escalation because both people begin responding to vulnerability rather than just to the latest jab. Small repairs matter because the willingness to start over keeps one painful moment from organizing the entire relationship. Deeper change arrives when partners bravely share their core fears and the specific comfort they most need. The central question becomes clear and direct, asking whether the other person is accessible, responsive, and emotionally engaged. Naming fear out loud is difficult because old defenses insist that asking openly is reckless, childish, or humiliating. Yet staying armoured distorts longing, and protected isolation soon feels emptier than the risk of honesty. When the more distant partner reveals sadness, helplessness, or fear of failure, the pursuer often softens immediately. When the protesting partner admits loneliness, terror, or the need for reassurance, criticism loses its grip as well. These moments are powerful because each person finally sees the attachment cry beneath the defensive performance. Then comfort can become specific, whether through attention, tenderness, holding, or clear signs that the relationship still comes first. A secure bond grows through these exchanges because trust forms when vulnerability is met rather than dismissed. Once couples can hold these conversations, the dance changes from testing and retreating toward clearer connection and calmer strength. Some moments cut far deeper than ordinary hurt because they become relationship traumas that overturn basic trust. An attachment injury occurs when a partner is unreachable or minimizing during a moment of intense need. The injured person often develops a never again stance, staying watchful, numb, or reactive to avoid fresh devastation. Years may pass, but one event can still live in the body, as if the abandonment happened yesterday. Healing begins when the wound is fully recognized, not debated away as exaggeration, misunderstanding, or ancient history. The hurting partner needs to describe the pain, the meaning made, and the exact moment the bond shattered. The injuring partner must stay present, acknowledge the injury, and offer remorse without defensiveness or quick excuses. Repair deepens when both partners identify what was needed then and what will help now if fear returns. Forgiveness here does not erase the event but can weave the wound into a story of renewal. When pain is met with responsiveness, trust begins to return where terror had locked the door. Physical intimacy flourishes when touch conveys safety, responsiveness, and emotional recognition, rather than silent pressure or performance demands. Sex can become closed off, reduced to mere sensation without openness, or turned into anxious reassurance seeking. When desire is seen as a test of worth, every refusal feels like rejection, and the bedroom becomes a place filled with too much fear. Regular tender contact is essential because touch connects sexuality with the fundamental human need for comfort and soothing. Without touch, partners often lose their easiest way back into warmth, playfulness, and bodily calm. When touch is gentle and non-demanding, couples can rediscover closeness without forcing immediate erotic success. Keeping love alive also requires daily care outside the bedroom through hello and goodbye rituals, small bits, and repair. Remembered good moments, resilient relationship stories, and future love stories all strengthen the sense of being an us. Love endures less through grand gestures than through repeated proof that someone notices, responds, and stays emotionally present. Subscribe to the channel if you want more ways to build closeness through touch, rituals, and everyday responsiveness that truly last. Secure love is crucial beyond romance, as it helps individuals face trauma, recover from shock, and remain human under stress. A responsive partner can serve as a secure base in chaos, whereas emotional isolation can turn suffering into a free fall. Supportive bonds assist people in processing terror, sharing shame, and preventing overwhelming events from eroding their identity. The same bond also shapes families, as distressed partners often become less emotionally available to their children. When adults love each other well, they model warmth, support, and resilience, which children can carry forward. Better couple bonds, therefore, ripple outward into stronger parenting, healthier communities, and a more compassionate social life. Love stops seeming flimsy once it is understood as survival code, bodily regulation, and daily emotional shelter. The practical starting point is simple but demanding. Notice the cycle, name the fear, and respond with presence. Over time, secure connection becomes not a lucky mood, but a dependable way of facing life together. If these ideas resonate with the kind of bond you desire, subscribe to the channel for more conversations on building love that holds under pressure.